lose Tavares, those are two big holes in your lineup, right?
Mm-hmm.
And I don't disagree with you. I think it looks like you're going to have one anyway. So now two, and I mean I have no doubt that that's one of the things the game theory that the Maple Leafs are doing is if this, then what? And that's one of the big questions out there.
Okay, so that's the latest in Toronto. How about the two-time champion Florida Panthers, Elliotte, who on Sunday enjoyed a second straight parade as well? Not as much rain this time for the Ranger champions, but
they were making it rain.
Oh my goodness! With anything they could get their hands on.
I don't know. Like I was watching Sam Reinhart this week. I'm wondering if he's going to be able to play in October. Like, like when is that guy going to finally dry out? So were you a Motley Crue guy at all? I know you're really young, but did you ever?
I mean, I'm familiar with their music growing up. I never saw them live or anything like that.
Yeah. So Motley Crue, I read the book on Motley Crue. It's just an incredible book, and so there's a famous poster of them in a bathtub. And I didn't know this until I read the book that Mickey Mars, who was a key member of Motley Crue, now that I've read this, I can't unsee it, right? So in that poster, it turns out that he was in such bad shape that day that they put glasses on him and they leaned him up against the bathroom wall so that they could take the picture of him so he could be in the poster. Okay? Like, I cannot believe Reinhart made it to that Dairy Queen the morning after one of those parties. He reminded me of that. He was like, just lean him up against the wall and stand him there. Oh,
he was Weekend at Bernie's. He was he was at another fast food joint, right? Of course, Marchand was at the DQ, and Reinhart was at a different outfit altogether.
Oh, he was. I just thought they were at the same one. Oh, no, I didn't realize that.
They took the whole area by storm. It was a spread offense. No, my one connection to Motley Crue, the rock station in my hometown, they had Nikki Sixx had like a syndicated radio show that he did.
Oh, really?
I don't know if it appeared anywhere in the Toronto stations, but it played where I was. And so anyway, I got used to the voice, and it wasn't until years later that I realized that Nikki Sixx was the bassist from Motley Crue. He was an interesting radio voice up until a certain time in my life. So that's my connection to Motley Crue.
I gotta tell you, just looking at Reinhart, I was laughing my head off. Those guys are having a great time. You got any problem with this? Because I think some people are starting to ask, like, what is too much? You got any problem with this?
I don't. Like, they won.
Yeah.
Go celebrate. I understand it can get to a certain point where, okay, you want to be respectful through it all, but man, oh man. As I say, like, I'm exhausted just following the playoffs. I cannot imagine playing in it, and then you actually win the thing, and to do it twice in a row. And I guess there's also, like, it was such a crunched, truncated celebration last year because of how late it went.
Yeah.
They're taking advantage of the extra few days, so good on them. It's like you talk about being in good shape. The stamina that they are showing now may be more impressive than any other long road trip or the playoff grind itself.
Well, we talked on the last pod about the real dislike, I think, between Tkachuk and that Oilers team. Like, I think that's very real because of those Battle of Alberta games. I would look at it this way. I always ask myself, like, how would I feel if this was happening to me? Okay. So first of all, the celebration, I think leading up to the parade, do whatever you want, right? Like, I don't think watching the Panthers celebrate, whether it's Bennett saying 8 more years or anything like that, as long as you're not going over the line and doing anything illegal or anything like that, I'm like, hey, as you said, it is hard to win. You go celebrate. And I think the general majority of fans really love it. I think they like to see the way these players celebrate, and they like to see them human. As for some of the shots at McDavid and stuff, if I was on the receiving end, I would just remember. Like, I wouldn't be begging anyone to leave me alone or stop making fun of me. Like, I don't care about that stuff. But I would be like, if it takes me 1 year or 20 years, it's like Russell Crowe in Gladiator. I will have my revenge in this life or the next, right?
Yeah, very good.
That's the way I kind of am about this stuff. Like, so I would just be like, okay, I will get my revenge someday. It may not be tomorrow, but it will happen eventually. Like, and I wouldn't complain about it. That's life in the big city. I would never complain about something like that.
All right. So through all the celebrating, whether it's Bennett, but did you text him, by the way, really at 2:26 a.m.?
Yes, I did. So that is true. I don't normally do things like this, right? But when he did that, like, I was up writing. I had a blog that came out the next morning, so I was actually up when that happened. But I wasn't looking at social, and all of a sudden, like, I had some all of a sudden I had a ton of notifications, and I was like, what is going on here? Like, what do I have all these notifications all of a sudden? And I thank all of the great hockey fans out there who were watching online, saw the celebration, and tagged me with it and said, is this true? Is this real? And so I was like, you know what? Like, if this is real, it's a big story. And I have a number for Bennett. And I know it has worked before, but I haven't used it in a long time. And so I texted it at 2:26 a.m. And I'm like, if this is not his number, then I might have just woke someone up. I'll say this, Kyle, I have not received a reply.
Okay.
So it's possible it's still his number. Like, I figured usually if a player's changed his number or someone's changed their number, I get a note from the person saying, oh, you better change it. Like, this is not the correct number anymore. And I've had people say to me, like I had one person who said, I like, you really, Elliotte Friedman? Can you take a picture of yourself? And because my friends think that you're pranking me. And I'm like, no, this is really me. This used to be an NHL player's number. And the person said to me, really? Like, whose number was this? I don't have the text anymore, so I don't know who it was. But I told him this was a while ago, and I told him what player it was. He's like, that's awesome. I now have X's former number, right? So
yeah.
It was just, but I haven't received a number. But, you know, hey, like, at that, like, that's a big story. You know, if you're up, and hey, I know he's awake. I don't know if he's going to answer any texts, but I know he's awake. But I didn't get an answer. So,
but
what's that?
My thing was, if you did